Welcome, everyone. My name is Chris Thorson. I'm Senior Director of Product Marketing at Poly, and today's topic is contact centers. And with me, I have a special guest, Darrius Jones, Executive Vice President and Chief Strategy Officer here at Poly. Hey, Darrius, how you doing this morning?
Great, Chris. Thank you.
So, why don't we start off with just give people a brief introduction about yourself, and I think you've got an interesting background. Why don't you talk about some of that for a second?
So, while I serve as the Chief Strategy Officer at Poly, a lot of my experience has been in large financial services contact center organizations. For years, I was at USA and Merrill Lynch, two pretty large contact centers. So, really looking forward to having this conversation, given that's where my roots are from.
Fantastic. Well, so let's jump right in. And first thing going on, let's talk about some of the key trends that you see that have been taking place over the past several years in the contact center, and just kind of give us some framework of and from your background of what's going on.
Yeah, the first big trend, comes right on the backside of another major technology trend. We were, 10 years ago talking about TDM to IP, and, that accelerated dramatically with this shift to cloud. That shift to cloud is extremely important for people to note. It allows the really large organizations to kind of test and learn their way in very quickly and deploy quickly. And it lets those smaller organizations who don't have the technology background or support to deploy equally. And so, that shift to cloud is a big one. It also brings features in at a rapid pace, whether it's
Right.
adding video, adding chat, adding new recording capabilities. And so, that shift can't be ignored because the rapid pace of new technologies and new capability adoptions are there. The interesting part is it puts a lot of strain on the endpoint. And so the endpoint's flexibility and ability to be updated is extremely important. And I think that's where we come in.
Fantastic. Anything else that you see going on in the space today?
Yeah. It's really interesting. I just got off the phone with a couple of customers, and we were talking about that. AI and digital has been, this thing that people really haven't understood over the last couple of years. And I equate it to, learning how to ride a bike with your child, right? And my son's very, technical and loves to kind of hear the nuts and bolts of things. And I said to him, I said, every human being on this planet comes with an applied physics degree built into their brain. Like if I push you, you have a tendency of leaning back. I said, that's really what AI does for the industry. It's teaching us these very simple functions that humans take for granted, like understanding when an answer should be given and what type of answer versus just delivering
The context to things, yeah.
Absolutely. And so I see this AI thing transitioning from the buzzword that's really dominated the previous 5 years to extremely practical applications. Just letting someone know that someone's agitated is one thing, but giving that information to the agent in real time, letting them adjust their tone and sentiment so that they can address the situation in a much more meaningful way. Those are the things that I think are really going to start to unpack for the contact center community, the power of AI beyond the chat bots and things that other people have talked about, let alone the benefits of kind of after the fact review of people's behavior in the organization.
Great. So now the big topic of the day right now is coronavirus, right? Everybody is trying to figure out, how does this impact my business? How does this impact my employees? How does this impact our workflows? I'm curious from your perspective, if you're in their seat of running a contact center these days, what are some of the things that that they need to be aware of, and some of the effects that they need to be thinking on about their own contact centers, and what can they do?
So the first thing I'm going to say is I met a Navy SEAL a couple of years ago who spoke to my organization. And the first thing he said was, don't forget this, calm is contagious. So we're talking about a virus. The first thing you got to remember, like as an organization, don't panic. If you're one of the 60% of contact centers that's trialed work from home and kind of found the benefits of it, you've already got a head start. But if you've never deployed work at home, the first trend that I talked about is cloud. It makes it a lot easier. There's lots of considerations like, are you a regulated industry? Are there certain things that have to be secured? I think those are kind of the downstream effects. I think there's actually going to be some forgiveness given the situation at hand. But first thing is stay calm. Calm is contagious. The cloud is on your side. And lastly, the technology required to deploy it. You don't have to put a router in someone's home. You have to put a headset, right? Or an IP phone. But the key here, outside of all of the technology, is really how are you going to encapsulate your corporate culture in a meaningful way so that people still feel connected to the organization, they still know what matters to your customers, and they're still actively engaged. And that's really where I'm recommending people spend a lot of time. You still need the technology, you still need the endpoints, but spend the time to think through what are the things that matter to your employees, what are the things that matter to your customers, and how are you going to encapsulate that corporate culture in a work from home environment. The
So
last thing I'm
like
going to say,
how would you do that? How would you get that culture? I mean, it's so hard. Like it's great if I could sit and we could say, well, let's go have lunch together or do something. But if you're a culture that's not used to work from home and you're having to switch to this environment, what do you do? You got any examples?
yeah, so I'll even use kind of a fun one, right? I have a very distributed organization. I have people pretty much from left to right, East Coast to West, or sorry, West Coast to East Coast, in a couple of countries abroad. But I'm really into the concept of gift giving, and so we used video to do a white elephant gift exchange. And at first the team was like, "Why are we doing this?" And now we can't imagine not doing this. It's the new kind of norm for us. And so whether it's something as simple as that, that really allows us to be connected. I mean, I had gifts from my team during this white elephant exchange in my office, and whether it's something like that or it's something as important as how do you do your daily stand-ups, we're all going to have to figure this out. And to that point, if you master this, maybe you don't have to bring people back.
Yeah, I mean it's going to change culture. That's a guarantee. It's a matter of are you going to use that in a positive way, or are you going to flounder around and just try to figure things out? So hopefully people can take some of those lessons and think about what their culture comes together. Bringing it back to Poly, what are some of the things that Poly does in the contact center that we can bring to these people as they're starting to think about what type of equipment they're going to deploy and what type of solutions that they want? What are some of the considerations um, of the devices that we bring to bear here?
Whether it's a traditional contact center or a hybrid or even one that has deployed video, I believe we're the only company who has that comprehensive portfolio. We have amazing headsets that are specifically designed for the contact center and the UC workforce. We have a variety of IP phones for open SIP deployments that really make it easy for an organization to at scale connect to a variety of cloud providers. And lastly, we have this comprehensive video portfolio, starting with the USB attached devices like Studio, and Eagle Eye Cube, and let's not forget Eagle Eye Mini,
Yep.
all the way up to Studio X, which is an industry first with our video bar. I think it's really going to be easy for customers who are already deploying these to just expand it. But even for customers who've never done it, I encourage you to get a couple of devices quickly, try it out, and you'll see just how easy it is. And I'd love to hear some success stories at the end of all of this.
Right. So yeah, whether it's a comfortable set, a reliable headset with the high quality audio that we're really known for, we've got devices for in your home. And as we're doing all this work from home, and as we move forward, as when people go back to work and go back to the office, we'll be there for them too. Hey, Darius,
Yeah.
thank you so much for spending some time with me today. For all of you, I hope this has been educational. And if you've got any other questions, certainly come and visit us at www.polycot.com. and also on our YouTube channel. So thank you very much and have a great day.
Thank you.